Hey folks, welcome to the February 2026 Town Hall. We've got an exciting Town Hall up for y'all. We'll get started momentarily. A couple of key things in terms of reminders. If your colleagues and friends on your team haven't seen it yet, ping them, tell them to tune in. They might catch some important information or might have some important questions to ask us. So let them know that it's starting. And as always, Q&A section is open. So feel free to post your questions in there and we'll get to it towards the end of the presentation. Today's, I think, Town Hall is a pretty easy one. I know we've just come out of the progress report 2 milestone. So just coming out of that, I know it was a stressful time period. So this one is more of a relaxed town hall. We'll go over some key things. We'll start off with our President's Minute. There are a couple of other general Discord updates similar to the last one, the 2026 mission patch, and then a few important topics that we'll be touching on, including upcoming milestones and deadlines. So we'll give, I guess, another minute or two to get started. How are the numbers looking like, Andy or anyone else?
44.
So still trickling in, I see.
I see 65.
That's
total.
Includes us
Oh,
all.
wow, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yep.
Apart from that, how's everyone's week been so far? Hopefully not too bad.
Great. It's been great over here. As a lot of you all know, Steve and I moved to a new town recently, and we signed up at the senior center and at the library. And I made a point of working in this rocket competition in every conversation, and hoping to drum up more volunteers. I think it's just such an exciting opportunity, as everybody who talks to me knows I feel that way. So, and I'm really glad on this town hall just to have a second that not only do we reach out to students, but we reach out to volunteers. And I happen to know we have a new volunteer on the line. Verena, I'm saying hi. Looking forward to getting more information and again, talk to people who work on your house, your neighbors, your hairdresser, your nail people. You never know when somebody wants to volunteer for this event. Aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers. Okay. That's my little PSA for the evening.
You very much, dear.
You're welcome.
No,
Okay, I'll go ahead and get started here. Just a couple of things. Andy and I have recently just back from the AIAA meeting down in SciTech, which was down in Orlando. Really want to thank Ebony Riddle Daytona for helping us out with our booth. The students were there talking with other students. They brought some prop rockets for us, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. From that meeting, I hope that we'll bear some fruit and see some new sponsors this year. So look forward to sharing that all with you once things gets formalized a little more. It does bring up the AIAA, which when you submit your technical reports for this round, there's going to be some more data required because these technical reports will actually be published as part of the AIAA archives. And so there will be a copyright clearance form that you'll need to sign out. And then there'll also be data sheets that will collect metadata for the team and for individuals so that they can cross-reference that data and give you all credit for the hard work that you've all done. I think it's a great opportunity that you'll have a publication with AIAA when you leave school. So I'm really excited by that. I'm really excited by our AIAA partnership. and look for good things coming up. We're working on something that we're not going to share with you all yet, but I'll keep you guessing until we announce it at the competition this year. I guess one other thing to look out for is our partnership with ProtoCase/Protospace. They will be posting some, I guess, both some educational material for you all, but also they have a, if using their product, they have a, what's the right word? They'll give you X amount of services as part of being part of the competition. So look for that. They'll also be on Discord, probably starting beginning of next week. They are a premier sponsor of us. They also help us do build our pads, and a real great partner with us. So I want to make sure that I give them a plug here and that you all follow up with them once we get them on Discord. I think I've taken 2 minutes, Mohi, and I'm going to pass it back to you.
Thanks, Steve. No, those were great updates. As Steve mentioned, once ProtoSpace and ProtoCase come online on Discord, just keep an eye out for them. Give them a shout out if you use any of their products and services. Tag us on social media so Jessica and her team can give you all a shout out on our social media channels as well. Up next, we've got some Discord updates. So currently, actually, I forgot to update the first line in that. But currently, we're at 2,000-ish members overall. And off that, there's 1,200 student competitors as part of our Discord channel, our server. So keep them coming. If they haven't signed up yet, remind them to sign up. It's a pretty useful tool to get important announcement, ask your questions, and just engage with not just the ESRA folks, but also other IREC community members as well. But keep in mind that follow any of the rules and post it in the correct channel so we can answer your questions quickly and by the correct folks as well. And if you're getting any instructions in terms of, oh, this is possible, just do this, or this should be okay, just be mindful where you're getting it from, and just think about it a little bit more as to if it's a student, a competitor, or if it's an ESRA official who's giving you some useful tidbit or a way to proceed. The other thing that I had noticed is there are a few members who join the server but forget to announce themselves in the introduce myself channel. So do that. That'll allow you to get access to all the channels other than just the general announcement channel. So don't forget to introduce yourself to get access to all the other channels that are there. Up next, after this one, was a big announcement that we did a little while back, which was the 2026 mission patch contest that we had. And I'm sure y'all have followed us on social media and on Discord to know who the winning team is. But for the 2026 year, if you haven't heard, it's Team 60, which is University College London. This was the selected patch as the patch that embodied not just ESRA, but IREC, Midland, and rocketry in general. So that was the winning patch. It's going to be placed not only on our social media, but also on our merch and quite a few places. And this patch in particular was designed by Anthony. So shout out to Anthony for the hard work over the past bunch of months, who not only allocated time to designing a pretty great patch, but also had to balance schoolwork and exams, because I believe when me and Jessica were having a couple of conversations with Anthony and his team, they were right during exam seasons. So shout out to UCL and to Anthony for the patch. So if you haven't seen it yet, that's the patch. Up next, we've got the international shipping coordination slides. So this is a pretty big one. And Andy had mentioned about this quite a few times, but just to reiterate and to drive this point home, that ESRA has an international shipping broker, which is Flagship Forwarding. A couple of key things to keep in mind about this is they can work with you to have your important items that you're shipping arrive safely in Midland for competition. In order to make sure that it arrives on time, that is them having the necessary tools to figure out what's the holdup, what the shipping process might look like, because you're an international team. You need to first reach out to them. There's a couple of ways to do that. Best thing is over email, which is the email address there, and that's mike@flagshipforwarding.com. Reach out to him, introduce yourselves, and start the conversation going. It doesn't mean you have to ship your items right now, but it's just giving them the necessary heads up that you are shipping your items from here, what the items are, how big they are, and what logistics you're using. And they'll get the conversation going by telling you, these are the do's and don'ts, this is what we can offer and whatnot. So roughly the deadline to contact them and start that conversation going is April 1st. But please try to do that sooner, because April 1st, yes, it's a little whiles away since we're in mid-February. It'll come around very quickly. So basically, it's right around the corner. So that's a big one. I don't know if anyone else wants to add anything to this one. But again, Q&A is open, so don't forget to post your questions about this in the chat. If not, we've got a few other updates that'll be happening, and one of them is travel and lodging. The best people to speak about this is Stephanie and Jessica. They'll touch base in a few. This is just to give an overall update in order to make your lives easier. But one of the key things just before they jump in and talk about it is our website is very up to date. And one of the sections we have in there is travel and lodging. So if you go to IREC and then see the drop down for travel and lodging, there you'll find the most up-to-date information on this topic. So check that out frequently. And Stephanie, Jessica, anything you'd like to add?
Specifically, what I would like to mention is that when you do visit, if you click on the IREC menu and you scroll down to travel and lodging and you click on travel and lodging, there is a hotkey to go straight to lodging. And what you will notice, and this is still currently in process, so please keep in mind as we get the information, Ms. Teresa, our webmaster, is updating it as fast as she can. But you will notice that there are two different sets of links. So one is the actual hotel website. It's their website. It has nothing to do with a group rate. If we have confirmed a group rate where it says confirmed group rate and a price, so for instance, the Hampton Inn South is confirmed a group rate for $169. If it is red, that is a dedicated link to the hotel's website with the group rate, meaning that especially those international teams, they can't necessarily make a phone call. You guys can go online and book your lodging that way. If there is not a link or it's not red for confirmed group rate, this is the rate that we've been given. So you're welcome to call the hotel and mention the international rocket engineering competition. And ideally, everybody's talking to everybody, and you should be able to claim that discount. If for some reason you are not able to, please send an email to media@ezrarocket.org. And I will, of course, contact our contact and see if we can get that any faster. But overall, basically, we're just trying to update it as fast as we can. And as soon as the information comes in, we're getting it up there for you. So thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Anyone else would like to chime in on this topic?
Actually, I think Jessica did a great job. We should have the links I'm hoping by next week of confirmed blocked rooms. So we are touching base with our contacts pretty frequently. So hopefully by next week we will have that.
Thanks for the update, Stephanie. Yeah, so
Thanks,
keep an eye
Mohi.
on the website and on the link that Jessica mentioned. It'll have the most up-to-date information. And the other thing, key thing that she mentioned was if you all reach out to a hotel and you all mention IREC and they're open to doing something, let Jessica and Stephanie know about it as well. Then that way we can update the website as well, saying that hey, this is someone who's working for a block rate or anything of that sort. Up next, we've got Progress 2 updates. I know this past Monday is when y'all finish them. So from our side, we've got a good chunk of work to do in the coming days, which is to start reviewing and reaching out to all the teams with their updates and feedbacks. But in order to talk a little bit more, I don't know if Jim, you'd like to jump in and chime in and just provide an overview on when feedback should be expected by.
Yeah, we first off, I thought it was kind of amazing. We had 166 teams submitted feedback on Progress Report 2, which is great. I thought we might get somewhat less than that, but we didn't. We had most of the teams submitted, so that's great. The guidance that I'm giving to our reviewers is to try to have feedback to all the teams by March 16th. And hopefully you'll get it before then. That's about a month from now, but that's sort of the end date. Hopefully many of you will get information back before that time. If I think we did pretty good this last time on Progress Report 1. There ended up being one team that didn't get feedback. And so, doggone it, we almost got everybody. But if you don't have feedback by March 16th, contact us and say, hey, I haven't heard from the reviewer, can you help us? And so we're tracking it. And we're going to try to make sure we get it. But if something falls through the cracks and we miss someone, let us know if you haven't received feedback, because it's real important that we get that to you. I think the only other thing I want to say on Progress Report 2 specifically is that I'm kind of leaning towards an approach where we provide information on the GPS frequencies and that sort of thing, maybe sort of separately from the rest of the progress report. And I don't have a full plan in place yet here, but if you've done SRAD motors, there's sort of a parallel effort goes on for reviewing SRAD motors by people who know about SRAD motors and try to do sort of the same thing for some of the radio and GPS frequency stuff, because not all of our reviewers are experts in that area. And so we may sort of do that in parallel to the safety reviews like we do the SRAD motors. And so I think, Mohi, do you want me to go on for Progress Report 3, or do you want to come back to that or ignore
I think we come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Up next, we've got video and live feed challenges. Back to Jessica for this one, if she'd like to share something.
So there is a huge question about transmitting on a 2.4 and 5.8 bands for the live video feed, launch feed. And after a lot of thought and talking, and after Progress 2 has come through, we have 70 teams that have confirmed that they are wanting to take part in the live feed challenge. We have 30 teams that are unsure, which only leaves 66 teams that don't necessarily plan on doing it at the moment. So with that said, we are looking at, ideally, we want all teams to not be on a 2.4 or 5.8 channel because it will conflict with other ESRA operations. However, if for some reason, and it is not recommended, that you have to operate on those channels, we are looking at ways to make that work. And originally we had vetoed it altogether, but we understand that this is a really big portion and things that you guys have been working for this for a while. So we're going to try and make it happen for you. But ideally, we still do not want you to transmit on those channels because it will conflict and you're going to have a hard time being successful. And we also don't want you to struggle there as well. So please feel free to continue to reach out on Discord, and we will update you as we continue to work through things on our end and to clarify how everything's going to work. So, but I just wanted to put that out there because I know that's been a very big question recently.
Thanks, Jessica. Continuing on that note, any media updates from your side?
I'm actually going to let Dwayne go first.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Dwayne, over to you.
Hey, well, just real quick on the social media front, we're just asking all the, both on the ESRA volunteer side and the student side, we're asking for a little extra support if you don't mind. And some of you are already doing great on this, so we appreciate those of you who are. But we're trying to really amplify IREC as much as possible. So we're asking that when you see our posts, if you could like it, share it, and engage it as much as you can. It obviously increases the visibility for the competition. It helps us overall to attract hopefully stronger sponsors, which of course helps everybody reach more universities. We always want to get more schools out here if we possibly can, and then of course expand opportunities for future teams. Your support ultimately is going to directly contribute to the continued growth and success of the event. And on the team side, we encourage any team that's posting anything to always share your post with us. We love, as long as your posts are relevant and appropriate, we are happy to amplify and promote your school's updates through all of our channels. We want to help you, get extra visibility. And again, just overall, it's going to help strengthen the overall reach of the competition. So that's all I got, Mohi. Thank you.
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah. So whenever y'all do a post or anything of that sort, don't forget to tag us, tag your sponsors, give everyone a shout out, and that way we'll keep an eye out on it as well. And as Dwayne mentioned, we'll also try our best to give you all a shout out by reposting your post as well. But thank you for that.
Thank you.
Up next, back to Jim for any general RSO updates in regards to IREC.
I don't have too much more to add other than I want to again encourage as many teams as possible to, on the COTS GPS side, to try to get into or get out of the 900 megahertz frequency. I started kind of looking at the data for that today, and I haven't gotten too far other than to be able to say we've got a heck of a lot of people that are planning on 900 megahertz GPS. And we really want to try to have everyone have a clean GPS frequency that they can use to find their rockets, and it's going to be difficult with so many people in the 900 megahertz to do that. So I just want to encourage you to consider, it's not too late at all to try to get into the 440 if you can. I've seen some teams that are doing some transmissions in 440 and then they have a 900 megahertz GPS. And it's like, well, wait a minute, it'd be pretty easy to shift over there. And so, why not consider that? The other thing, and the other alternative to shifting over to 440 is it's conceivable that Featherweight may come out with their Swift GPS here in the next month or two, and our intent at this point, based on what we know, is to allow that, which would alleviate some of the problems that we're having in 900 megahertz. So we're monitoring that, and we're hopeful that that will help. I suspect that requires new hardware, but it is what it is, but it will help you. And just to emphasize again, you're going to have some issues or you may have some issues if you're doing a 900 megahertz GPS. Your life will be easier and your experience will be better if you're not in 900 megahertz GPS. Trust me on this. So hopefully you can at least consider your options for doing that. One other thing I wanted to mention, one of the things that we talk about in the DTAG on frequency allocation is that we plan to give foreign teams that cannot get reciprocal ham license agreements some preference in 900 megahertz since it's the only frequency that they can use. I'm no expert in international usage of reciprocal agreements, but based on the investigations that I've done, it looks to me like most countries do have reciprocal agreements in place such that hand license would be possible. And that being the case, if you come to me and you say, hey, we got to have a special frequency because we can't get reciprocal agreements in our country, and I look at the requirements and it looks like you can, I'm probably going to say, nope, you're going to be down there, lower on the totem pole, because you could have gotten that reciprocal agreement. So I'll urge you to try to do that if you can. And if you truly believe that you can't get that agreement, please let me know so that I can develop an accurate list of who can and can't get those reciprocal agreements. And the last thing I'll put out there, just to scare the heck out of everybody, is that there may be a DTAG revision coming along here before too long. Mostly this is going to be to introduce the band plan and its location and that it is the source of information. But it'll have a lot of clarifications in it. We're trying to fill gaps where something may not be clear, or just trying to make sure that what we intend from the rule is actually in the DTAG, so there's maybe less uncertainty about what the rule really is. So I don't know an ETA on that. It's entirely up to Mohi and when he gets around getting a review done on that. So it'll be his fault. But I would say maybe the middle of next week we can sort of stack hands on those changes. And I would urge you to at least scan it and see if there's anything in there that you think may affect you. I may try to make changes easier for you to find. But there will be a few things, and you ought to look it over. And so that will be coming along as well. I do not have anything else. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim. One other question that always usually comes up is, are LiPos allowed this year?
What was that?
No, one of the questions that frequently comes up is, are LiPos allowed this year?
No, LiPos are not allowed, and I think almost everybody knows that, but there's always a few people who don't know that, and invariably the reason they don't know it is they're looking at the DTAG from last year. So I would urge you, if you have not done it, to download this year's DTAG, and including the one that's coming along here before too long, because if you're looking at last year's DTAG, you're going to miss some things. You don't want to do that. So don't look at an old version, or you're going to be missing some things, because the revision earlier this year on that document had a lot of changes, and those are things that you need to see if you have not done that already. So download that new one. It's up there on the website so that you're not responding to old data.
For sure. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, a good way to do that is to not save the D tag, but download it anytime that you need it. Then that way you're pulling the most up-to-date D tag from our website. And I do owe Jim that review on the updated D tag. So hopefully I get around to it this upcoming weekend, which I know what I'll be doing, and get to you sooner than later. So thanks, Jim. Up next, we've got the 3 categories. I don't know if Jason, I didn't see him yet. If Jason's around, if there's any updates from the solid side, or Adam from the multi-stage side.
From the solid side, there's currently no update at this time.
Sweet. Thanks, Jason. Adam, anything about multi-stage?
Currently, no updates on multi-stage.
Okay. And lastly, for liquids and hybrids, Paul?
Yeah, the only update I have in response to progress report 2, I did see where looks like everybody filled out what gases, liquids, and everything they're going to need for the launch or their estimate. I need to get back with those teams and also find out if they're bringing them or whether I have to go ahead and get them sourced. But other than that, we're looking pretty good for hybrids.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Yep.
I also can't see who all are in the call. I don't know if Mandy is in this town hall right now. And if she does, anything you'd like to share?
I don't see her, Mohi.
Okay. So we'll loop back around later. But if you all have any questions in regards to fees and deadlines coming up, post it in the Q&A and we'll have a look at it and answer it. And coming up towards the latter half of this town hall, a few important milestones and deadlines that are coming up for you all to be aware of is progress report 3. So this is a little whiles away, but don't forget about it. It's on April 10th, and this is a hard cutoff similar to progress report 1 and 2. Failure to submit it will result in an elimination from the competition. And a couple of key things that we've noticed is teams tend to wait a little too late and waiting till the last minute and then realizing that for some reason you're not able to access the portal to include your details and whatnot. We can't really solve it if you're reaching out to us on April 10th, right before the deadline. So give yourselves ample amount of time and get that sorted and get that in well before the deadline. From the treasury standpoint, we've got 2 upcoming payments coming up in April. One is the rocket fees. This is required for each individual project that you're bringing to IREC. So basically think of it as each rocket you're bringing in. If you have multiple ones, you'll be paying your rocket fees for each one of those. And there is a late fee associated with it if for some reason you're not able to meet the April 10th deadline, and it goes up pretty steeply. This is mainly there to help us get the necessary fees in place in order to procure equipment, in order to get things set up, put down deposit for a lot of different things that we'll be needing for IREC. So the sooner y'all do this, the easier it'll be, not just for yourselves to mark it off as done in your to-do list, but it'll also help us in planning things out and getting things sorted from a logistical standpoint as well. The second one that's due in terms of fees is the Rocketeer fees. This is also due on April 10th. And again, if you're not able to meet this deadline, there's a late fee associated with it. So try to get it before April 10th. And this is for the individuals that are going to be attending the competition physically. What this also entails is the fees that are associated with this will also get those folks swag bags, merch, and anything else that come with the Rocketeer fees. So think about that. If a team member is not able to attend but would like to get uh, those merch and whatnot that come with the Rocketeer fees, maybe it's something that they can look into as well. But yeah, these are the two important fees and the report coming up as well. The other key things that are happening a little later on would be the video flight readiness review will be kicking off in and around April 3rd time period. So what's going to happen is your flight safety reviewers will schedule a video review with you, and that's basically you showing off your rocket, showing the different components of it, and the reviewers asking questions and validating things basically before you come to competition. So that's a pretty crucial milestone. I don't know, Jim, if you want to add anything to that particular milestone, or same goes for Paul as well.
Yeah, just a couple comments. I mean, I think the question was asked about when does Progress Report 3 open, and I think, and maybe you or Jessica can verify this, but I think the idea is to have it available to be submitted starting the 3rd, with the deadline being the 10th. And we'll hopefully have it out, so that you can look at it within the next week or 10 days. I would say probably that time frame is going to be what it's going to take. And Progress Report 3 is different from Progress Reports 1 and 2 because the real focus of Progress Report 3, well, there's more information on travel reservations and things like that. But from the rocket point of view, it's mostly responding and making sure that you've replied to the comments that have been provided by the safety reviewers. So, if you've gotten your safety review and you haven't had discussions with your safety reviewer since you received those comments, that's something that goes in Progress Report 3. Resolving those comments is what goes in there. And so that'll go from the 3rd to the 10th of April. And that opens the window then for the video review anywhere between the 10th and roughly the middle of May. I think it's May 15 or 16 is when we wanted to try to have those completed. And I'll just say that it's the responsibility of the teams to set that up. So it isn't going to be the flight safety reviewers that set that up. It's the responsibility of the team to set those things up and to try to find a time when you can get the safety reviewer and the flyer of record and your mentors and everyone all in one place. And as Mohi says, that's the opportunity to look at the rocket. Because I can tell you, there's been a lot of those that I've sat in on when we start to see the rocket. It's like, holy cow, that's not at all what we expected to see when we were looking at the report. And there's this beautiful rocket. And now we look at the video review, and we've got a box of parts on the table. So at that point in time, we're not really interested in seeing so much the presentations because we've seen the data on the rocket. What we want to see is the rocket itself. We want you to spend a little time thinking about how can I show what this rocket looks like? How do I show the inside of it? How do I show the internals? What cameras and what microphones and so forth do I use so I can show the reviewer the rocket as opposed to just seeing it on paper, because we've already kind of seen that. So give that a little bit of thought. There's a pretty good window in there, but we want to try to get those done before the middle of May. And one of the key objectives, I know Andy would say if he's here, is we want to make sure at that time that there's actually a rocket. So, have that prepared so we actually have something to show us and we can see the work that you've done on. I think that's it. Mention one date that's not on here that's kind of important. And that's this technical report due on May 1st. If you think you're going to have to downgrade on your category, May 1st is the cutoff for that. Once you get to May 1st, if you haven't submitted a request to change your category and gotten approval for that, then you can't change categories. So if you're in a position where you have to change categories and it's past that time, you're out of the competition. So pay attention to that time and hear your evaluation of your progress and where you're actually going to be with that date in mind, because that's the cutoff.
Thanks, Jim, for the overview on Progress Report 3 and the video reviews as well. And good point on the category downgrades before May 1st. Yeah, as Jim mentioned, category downgrades can happen before May 1st, but you all need to get ESRA's approval. But also, you all need to make sure your technical reports are updated to reflect that downgraded content before you submit it on May 1st.
Yeah, that's actually the reason we have that date. It's because we need to have your rocket and your category coincide with the report that you submit for judgment. And so that sort of means that that's why those dates are what are together, because that's why they need to be that way.
Yeah. Similarly, on May 1st, we've got a few other bulk deliverables due on this date. This includes your poster session, podium session, and also importantly, your school's participation letter. So these were some of the items that I think are key to keep in mind. I know a few of these are a little whiles out. We'll be continuing to include this in the following town halls, and we'll be doing an announcement post as we come closer to these particular milestones, just as a reminder, so that no one forgets. But speaking of these reminders, in the suggestions channel, I had created a calendar that you all can sync up to your computers that'll add all these to the milestone or to your calendar itself. And I'll try my best to keep them updated as to when the Progress Report 3, for example, opens up. If we have a concrete deadline that we know, once that comes in, I'll move those event dates around so you all have the latest information as well. But with all that being said, the IMS is still the go-to document that needs to be referred to. My calendar thing is a useful thing, but it is not the concrete information guide. That is still the IMS that needs to be downloaded and reviewed from the website. So it's not a replacement, and the IMS is still the go-to document. Yeah, and that I think is pretty much it, what we have for this particular town hall. I don't know in terms of if questions came in yet, but I would suggest posting your questions. If we haven't answered them yet, we'll do our best, and we'll have a look at that as well. A couple of questions that came up is Progress Report 3, when will it be made available? So as Jim mentioned, sometime in and around like the April time period is when we'll have the link open, but also have the editable PDF and Word document for you all to collaborate amongst your team members on the website as well. So keep an eye out for that as that comes up. Up next, we've got a question on the Rocketeer fees is still not able to be paid on ESRA's website. I think Jessica already answered this, but I don't know if you'd like to chime in again, Jessica.
I'm sorry, as far as the rocket fees are concerned?
Yeah.
So The Rocketeer fees are available on the website. They are available at the same place that you guys submit Progress Report 1, Progress Report 2, the same place that you pay the Rocketeer fees, the same place that you pay the application fee. It's all located underneath 2026 IREC accepted teams. The link itself is a button on the 2026 IREC page, and it's sort of at the top. So ideally, it's easier to see, but I did post a link in my question or my reply, and I will also post the link on the webinar chat as well, for you guys to be able to link there.
Thanks, Jessica. And just to clarify, the team or the first individual that paid the application fees will be the one who has access to all these fees, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so make sure you coordinate with your team member that's initially kicked off this process. Next up, we've got, do we need to record our flight video readiness reviews like last year and send it to ESRA? I believe the answer to that is yes. Then we've got another one for the live video challenge. Does it require both live video from the rocket and also the telemetry, or can it just be the live video, live telemetry itself? So I think Jessica cleared that up, but I'll still let her chime in for everyone else.
So with the live video challenge, there are technically two categories. You have the live video itself, and then you have the live telemetry from the rocket. We have the ability to give out one award per, or we can decide to combine those awards if the video contains all of the requirements. So it kind of depends on the video itself, on which one, the quality of the video, that type presentation. So NSF will be joining us in judging the live videos this year. So give everybody a heads up.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Jessica, for that.
Jessica, do you want to mention the posting of the revised rules for that, at least as they currently stand?
As the rules currently stand for the live video challenge, for those teams that are expected to participate, currently we are going to be setting up a room or a table at the Horseshoe for teams to register to come by and to prove that you guys can connect to your rocket and stream. And then that way, if for some reason you get out to the launch pad and you cannot get a connection, we are asking that you have a hard drive on your rocket that it is saved. The footage is saved on a hard drive on your rocket so that we can download that footage and judge it accordingly, because we are expecting, because of the amount of teams, conflict, and there is concern that you guys are going to struggle in order to get an open frequency as far as transmitting. So
yeah, and the requirement, though, I mean, it's mandatory to be able to record the video on the rocket if you're participating.
correct.
Thanks, Jessica and Jim. Up next, we've got a question on tents, and tents and chairs will be provided on site at the launch site. I guess, Stephanie?
Yeah, I mentioned real quick, the plan is definitely to have chairs and tables, and we are also hoping to have tents very similar to last year, possibly a little stronger so that they don't blow away. But that's the general idea.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Sure.
But yeah, for sure. So the plan is still there, but it's always advisable to get tents for yourself if you're working out by your Airbnb's backyard. Don't stand out in the sun. Figure some shade out.
That's a
But
good
from our
point.
side, yes. Up next, we've got a question again pertaining to the video readiness review, where the question asked is, do we do a video call with our flight of record progress report reviewers over Zoom, as well as send it to ESRA? So just to confirm, yes, it could be a call over Zoom or Google Meets or something else. Coordinate that with your reviewers first as to what platform works best for them. And indeed, it does need to be recorded and it does need to be sent to ESRA after it's done as well. And Jim, any words of advice on the method that we're expecting for the call?
Was that to me, Mohi?
Yes.
Just as exactly as you said, the teams need to have the responsibility to set up a platform to do that call, depending upon, what they're able to do, and to make sure that the people that need to be on that call are able to connect on that platform as well. So that's responsibility of the team to get that all set up. There's been some misconception about that over the last few years as to who it is that's actually supposed to do it. And it may be written down somewhere that the safety reviewer will coordinate that. Not true. That is the responsibility of teams to get that call set up and to, pick a date that they can do it and that everyone can attend and then try to do it. There's a roughly 5-week period in there where those video calls can be held. And to be honest, sometimes they extend over past that a little bit of time, which is okay if it comes to that, just in order to be able to get everyone to participate. But need to actively manage that and to do it as soon as you're able to do that.
For sure. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, as Jim mentioned, the onus is on the teams to coordinate and make this happen. So get the conversation started early. There are a lot of teams, so the sooner you reach out, the earlier you can get it done. Up next, we've got another interesting question, which is, if we decide to not take part in the podium session, do we still need to prepare material for it? I'm trying to recollect this. This is a good one. I haven't remembered this, but I believe, yes, you still need to submit materials for it as it's a deliverable. Getting selected to do a podium session will be basically a short list of teams that have gotten selected to present. But that's a good question. I don't know if anyone on the panel has the true answer on top of their minds, or if Anita is on the call.
Yeah, I would address this to Anita. I don't see her on the call.
She had to hop off, but we will. I'll mention it to her and I'll ask her to make sure she posts it.
Post something on Discord, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, actually, if you post this question onto Discord in the general channel, most likely later today, Anita will answer it whenever she gets the chance. So thank you for that. The other question is, are there any updates regarding L1 and L2 certification flights that are planned for the Sunday? I don't know if you have anything, Steve, from your side on this particular topic.
No, Andy's managing that, but as far as I know, there's no updates. I think there's if I'm not mistaken, and I could, I'd prefer Andy answer this.
Yeah,
I don't want to give.
I'm back, guys.
Okay.
So I can give you a quick update. Everything continues forward on that. It does, in fact, going to happen. You're going to start seeing a lot of documentation, a lot of information being passed around on Discord and social media. Orders for those level 1 kits are going to be essentially the information will be sent out. You will need to register for whether or not you're going to do a level 1 or level 2 or whatever. Reminder again, the The fun fly portion of it is strictly for ESRA volunteers. So at this point, if an ESRA volunteer would like to just fly one of their rockets, they are capable of doing that. The fun fly is not available for students from that standpoint. So only the certification flights are your only option for launching on Sunday. If a volunteer would like to certify, it is certainly open and available to them. Again, the same process will be placed that you need to register both volunteers and students. All of that information will get posted, and we'll have a significant more detail on this during the March town hall.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. And you might just have to hang tight because there's another question which you might know a little bit more. This one is, when and where will motor assembly take place? So if this is pertaining to the certification flights, I believe that's being coordinated when they do the L1 rocket builds, right, Andy?
Correct. The rocket, if you purchase one of the Wildman kits for your level 1 certification, the build will be on Saturday, and we're finalizing the details on where that will be. But you will need to be available for Saturday. So that means if you're planning on arriving midday or late afternoon Saturday, you missed it, and you're not going to be able to build your rocket on Sunday because there's not enough time for the epoxy to fully set. So from that standpoint, if you cannot attend on Saturday and you're expecting to purchase a rocket kit from Wildman, then I would contact me directly and we'll discuss it. But the plan is you arrive on Friday, you build on Saturday, and you launch on Sunday. And obviously, Tripoli will require your membership just like we do, and we'll have certification specialists there to sign your paperwork and ensure that everything gets submitted to Tripoli, and your certification, if successful, you will get to go home with a level 1. So that's the hope. There are options for level 2, level 3, and we'll have details for those available also. So if you have a level 2 or a level 3 project that you're attempting to fly, if you would like, you can bring that. But again, you need to register so that we know you're coming. If you show up on Sunday and expect to fly but did not register, we're going to say thank you, but no thank you, and ask you to try again next year. So follow directions, pay attention to social media, pay attention to Discord. We'll get the information out to you, and we'll have a lot more discussion on this at the March town hall.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Jessica, you had your hand up.
She was probably going to ask about if Andy knew anything about motor building for the competition.
Yeah, I just noticed
Maybe
that
what the question was about.
I'm sorry. Exactly the same process we had last year. So you will pick up your motors from Wildman and Aerotech, and they will be set up in the education building next door. We will do a much better job this year of having signs and posters and directions on where to go to coordinate that. But that will be available on Monday and Tuesday in the education building, which is literally right next door to the convention hall, the Horseshoe.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the postings for that. But Andy, as he mentioned, it'll be the motor build for the actual IREC will be happening Monday, Tuesday itself. Next up, we've got a question asking if there are any examples of podium and table presentations, or do we have full creative control using PowerPoint for the podium presentation? So there's 2 parts to the podium session. One is the actual document that you'll be writing. You can find the template for that on the website, and that basically follows the AIAA standard publication format. So that's pretty much there. But for the podium session presentation itself, no, we don't have any strict guidelines on that one. This is also something useful to post on Discord, and you'll get a good amount of comments from not just ESRA folks, but also other IREC competitors who've done this in the past. Not sure if anyone else wants to chime in on this particular question.
You handle it well, Mohi.
Sweet. Oh, yes. And someone just chimed in as well. There are podium sessions published on the live streams, so go check out how the presentations look like there as well. Yeah, I think that pretty much concludes this town hall. I don't know if anyone had some last minute remarks. Jessica, I see you're back.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. In reference to if we decide not to take part in the podium session, do we still need to prepare material for it? The answer is yes. All teams except non-competing demo teams are required. There is a 20-point penalty for this. Follow the minimum requirements listed in the rules and requirements. And I also typed that in the chat as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica.
Awesome. I think we're right on schedule. I don't know if anyone has very last minute remarks.
Just want to thank everybody for their time. I want to thank the panelists here for giving the responses to the questions and the students for asking the questions. And thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, folks.
Take care.